Hello and welcome to our another show. Today we have a big day. We have another success story for us, for the group, for the session that we have gone through before. Our brother, Mr. Zahid Hussain, who is here among our panelists, he achieves the certification of PfMP in last week, and he's here with us to share his experience, lesson learned, and by this he is one of the candidate, one of the qualified credential holders. I think he's one of the 800 people around the globe. And welcome Zahid on this club and to this program as well.
Thanks, Mr. Adeel, and welcome.
Thank you. And I also like to welcome Mr. Mohsin Zain, who is here. He's the you may say a pivotal point to arrange all this session and provide support during application process and other areas. So basically, to tell you the background, we had 10 we have 10 sessions of around 2 hours each, and there were 8 students were there. Out of them, 3 are already qualified. So this is a 100% success ratio in our training camp. So let's start with Zahid, a question that how did you achieve it, and why you did it? Can you please explain your thoughts on this, please?
Yeah, sure. First, let me thank Mr. Adeel, to yourself, and Mr. Mohsin Ali Zain, and for their continuous efforts and giving us a lot of information and motivations to go for these PfMP credentials. Also, I'm thankful to you for creating the opportunity today where we can share our. I would like to mention this, that it's a very nice initiative from you guys, where you are bringing the new credential holders alive to share the fresh certification journey, where we encounter a lot of lessons during the preparation. So again, thanks a lot for this. I would like to show our lesson learned for during my credential certification. I have divided it into 3 parts. First, let me introduce you that why we should go for PfMP certification, what value it creates, it carries, and what benefits an individual can get out of this, and an organization can get out of this. Then I will quickly go through with few slides where we can see what the application process for PfMP and exam structure, the information about lesson learned and material is very important, especially when we are just getting our certification. We have fresh knowledge on how we prepared, and it is worthwhile to share with our community and other fellows. Okay, let me just give you a brief introduction that PfMP is, as compared to the other certifications, does not hold too much of the certified people around the globe. If you can see on my slide, as of now, it is around 900 plus worldwide certified people from PMI. As compared to the other certifications, like you see, there is a big boost in PMP, over 1 million people. Good growth is happening in PgMP and other agile certifications. So this is one of the numbers which tells us that how many people are coming to this portfolio management. On the same hand, I would like to tell you that there are many organizations who are actually running portfolio in one way or other. Like there are many organizations who are running it in a structured way, and many other organizations who have a lot of work that can be controlled and centralized through PfMP practices, and it can add more value to the business organizations.
Zahid, thank you.
Interesting facts, Zahid. Yes, Mohsin, please.
So, yes, I think so. It's very interesting to know about these figures, and thanks, Zahid, for that. But what do you think? What's the reason that we have a lesser number, a very few number, as compared to any other certification, and we have not reached even the 1,000 number?
Exactly. This is a question. Although there are now many years now that this certification is launched by PMI, And I personally believe that there are many management people who are working in the portfolio in the live experiences. Probably they are coming from the technical experience backgrounds for a lot of years of experience, and they're coming with the management studies. But still, we don't see that they are going for certifications in PfMP discipline. Probably I believe there are some reasons that this comes in the elite professional area, as well as it has a high cost as compared to the other PMI certifications. Like it was sometime 2000, and for some reasons PMI has decreased the price to 1000 USDs for non-members. If you are a member of PMI, you get even $800 fee. It also requires a lot of experience. Not We don't say a lot of experience in terms of the years, but it requires experience directly in portfolio management practices that you need to show here for the application. One more, I think the obstacle here is that the application process is little cumbersome. You can see that it has a long approval process. It might have audit stuff, and it might have some rejections where you have to redo it. So in today's presentation, we will go through with these issues, and we will try to help out how can we bypass such difficulties, and we can make it more successful for us. But I have a good news for you as well. You can see on the screen that if we look from a trend from 2017 to now, which is around 2.5 years, we see that there's a 100% increase from 460 to almost 900 now. This shows us that this certification is getting awareness in people, and they are more going for this into this direction. I was just looking this week on PMI website. There is a note on the PfMP application process that they are giving a notification to the people that there's a high surge in the applications now. So people should have patience that it might take around 60 days even for application handling. So we'll go through these all points that and see how we can make it simplified for our upcoming fellows and PfMP aspirants who are interested in this.
Right, got it. So I just want to make a point here that if you see the numbers here, as Mohsin mentioned, that there are very less than 1,000 numbers in last 7 to 8 years since this certification started. So, and there is no prerequisite. This is an important point that you can do directly. A certification ahead is very important, but it's really at high level. It's an elite level. It resolves around the organization strategy and impact of that. So I really recommend seeing these numbers. It's really a high motivation for those who are aspiring to do strategic studies or do this certification. Thank you.
Well,
Let's
Brother
go
Adeel, I
to
would
the
like
next point.
to mention one reason why it is not limited with too much prerequisites, because maybe the certification is just a decade from now, but portfolio is our business, and people are working in this portfolio structure for many years. So you might have many experienced people who has a good experience in portfolio, and they are working for many years, so they can have a route to get this discipline from a globally recognized institute, and then they can get their experience and other things as with the credentials which are well known.
Okay, right. Thank you. And Zahid, you were talking about some survey as well that project management jobs are going to be very high level. Would you like to share something on this?
Another slide here. You can see here there was a 2017 report by PMI where they expressed that in the original projection for all types of PM project management roles was expected to be 52 million in 2020. While in 2017, you can see that the actual survey counted that the figure already crossed it. It goes around 65.66 million almost is already occupied in 2017. And with the growth rate of annually 2.2 million new jobs in overall project management, program management, and all the project related disciplines. So I would like to see that this is a big market, and the career opportunity is there. It's knocking. So if your experience does fall in this category, you have the experience in at least 4 years, as we will show in the next slides, you should plan for this certification. It will really add a lot of benefit to your knowledge base. As well, it will give you more exposure. If you still lack some experience, then even then you can design a roadmap to go for this kind of this level of certification. Let me just give me some chance. I will show some of the benefits, that at what level portfolio management is actually working, and how a portfolio manager is adding value to the organization, and
That's an important point.
how it is actually differ from the project level management or program management, program level management. I would not take much of your time in explaining the project or showing the contrast with project and program. More of us are already aware of these disciplines, and many of also aware by the PfMP as well. But where we want to highlight the PfMP role as a portfolio, as a discipline, and the portfolio manager role, I would like to say every organization is working to have its business value growth in the business value. So what is the PfMP role? Its ultimate goal is to enhance the business value with some means, with some structure and frameworks, with some governance model we will discuss. And there are two main practices, two main elements I want to say. First thing that PfMP standard and PFA standard highlights is that at portfolio level, we are focusing to do the right work. Yani anything that is not contributing towards the strategy may not be right work. So companies has to focus on the right work which contributes to the more business value, adopting the good practices given by the portfolio management plan. If you have a look on the right side, you see a vision mission diagram. It's well-known diagram, but here you see some of the bottom layers. After the strategy, you see portfolio management role, where it is adding value from operational domain and from projects and programs in both ways. Just I want to mention one more thing, that according to the recent 2012 Pulse of Profession research report, they have mentioned that 62% of products meet or exceed expected ROI for the companies who are formally running the portfolio management discipline and practices in their organization.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and this really comprehensively.
At any point, at any specific topic point you want me to stop, please, you are welcome for any questions, and we can also have questions in the end of our session. But if you feel there is a question according to any slide, please, you feel free.
I think so. This is good to add that
I think we are having
YouTube channel. We can have it on the comments. In the comments of YouTube, any participant can add his question, and inshallah will be taken up. Yes. So just Zahid, I want to ask
this
you,
is very comprehensive.
Yes, go on, Adeel. Yes, I was asking about that. A question.
So this is a very comprehensive slide, I think, that you made, and it covers the like organization from the top, where there's a vision defined and mission, and then further drills down into the project and component level, operation level, and we are seeing a critical area where portfolio is playing a role, and portfolio manager is the key position that can handle this part. So it's for me, it's perfectly in the statistics for the I think those projects and components that that exceeds the expectations. It shows that the value, the worth that has this study in the project execution or program or portfolio execution in the organizations. Great, thank you. Yes, Mohsin, please. I think you want to ask something.
I was just asking a question which would come to anyone's mind in that PfMP. Is there any prerequisite for PfMP in that sense that one should do PMP and then do PfMP, or he can go for his first certification as PfMP?
Well, formally, there is no prerequisite for being PMP to go for PfMP. One can plan to go for PfMP without PMP, But most of us are coming from the PMP certifications and experience. And I would also suggest, in my opinion, that coming through PMP certification and experience does add more value. It gives you more detail level knowledge that how the individual components of the portfolio are being run. So it helps you when you are managing resources, supply and demand, managing the risks at portfolio level. So it gives you extra benefits. But answering to your question, it is not mandatory.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Correct. So that's clear that for PfMP there is no prerequisite of any certification. Got it. Thank you.
Any other?
I'm interested in
there are
one
some
part.
requirements we will go through in coming slide, and I will explain those requirements, but not the PMP.
Yeah. So yes, we can go to the other slide, and where I think you can further mention if you have any point, please ahead.
Yeah, sure. First thing I want to highlight that what are the immediate benefits you get when you are planning for this certification for an individual himself. We saw in the previous slide that how a portfolio management and portfolio manager adds value to the organization, but there are some immediate benefits to the individual. First of thing is individual level. If you are working in a large organization, maybe you are not practicing all the portfolio level tasks and activities. So when you are going through the standard certification, you have a chance to go through all the 35 mentioned tasks in portfolio standard, and it gives you more knowledge base in other areas which you may not be master. So it opens opportunities for a new knowledge base for you. Second most important thing which I learned myself, that in the project, during the study and during the exam, which is 170 questions, we encounter many scenarios which we might not have faced in our own unique experience. So by going through this certification preparation, we get to know many other portfolio management scenarios and issues and change management scenarios, which gives us new ideas and thinking ways to go for this. Also in the preparation, we had many group discussions and we evaluated many business scenarios. So it adds more value by listening, by learning from our peers and other group members. So as a overall, there is a nice addition to your knowledge base. You get things know more than what you are actually working. And another important factor, if you are going for exam as well, you get a globally recognized certification from leading institute like PMI, which authenticates that you possess good competency in all the 5 domains of the portfolio knowledge. And it's a good opening opportunities for you in the market.
Got it. Thank you. I think that's comprehensive. So next, what is your idea on the right side? Actually, you mentioned the 5 domains. Just if you want to highlight this point, or
yeah, it's a diagram. It is showing the 5 knowledge areas of portfolio knowledge as per PMI standard 3rd edition. Portfolio operates in 5 different domains like strategic management, aligning your whole work with the strategy of the organization; governance management, where you are actually planning the governance model, the framework, change management, everything to run the portfolio to have a maximum value from your work. You go for performance management, planning and monitoring. You have a comprehensive communication management plans where you look for your stakeholders, these stakeholders at the organizational level, internal, external, and a comprehensive risk management planning. Risk management at the portfolio level, where you look the business overall and the risks for all the business components. Okay.
Yes, from the exam perspective, I
Thank
want
you
to
very
ask which domain you think is the most difficult one, which requires more time to prepare, because I can see governance, performance, and all. So, what would be the most difficult one?
From exam point of view, let's say we can see it from two ways. One is how much is one lengthy from the another. So you will find governance management is little lengthy. Strategic management and others may be more straightforward, and you can easily have the comprehension of this knowledge. But there are deep diving domains as well, like risk and performance management. So maybe in the standard you find a small text on this, not too many pages, but these are the deep areas where you should have more knowledge how the performance and risk disciplines itself work and how it applies to the portfolio.
So
So
performance is the most
what I
important,
would
right?
like
All
to
right,
say
thank you.
that it may vary from person to person. Maybe one person has a very good experience in performance, or maybe he's a risk master, risk champion. So he will find another domain difficult for him. Maybe his area of expertise are low, so he might find it difficult. But going with a couple of years of experience of portfolio, regardless which domain, it makes you easy to understand and comprehend the knowledge.
Great. Thank you, Zahid. I think this covers the point why we need it and why it's necessary. I think you covered it very well. Let's go to the application process. So what is, and especially there are questions coming for the content and the changes. So let's go to the application and then we will follow the content to prepare the exam.
Yes.
Please.
Well, most of the application information you can also find on the PMI website in two documents. I will give you. I will show the document names. The one most is handbook for PMI for PfMP. But we included these slides so we can share some of knowledge lesson learned from our experience, and also to make it simple for you. Application process is little longer than PMP applications because it includes 10 days initial completeness review. A completeness review is a stage where they review your application to see that it completes all the aspects of the application itself. Uh, it has some guidelines given in the handbook, and one should abide by these guidelines. Then if your application falls in audit process, you have to fulfill the audit requirements. But let's say assume that your application is accepted after the stage 2 of completeness, then you are asked to pay for the fee, and after paying the fee you will go for a panel review your application. And this application may take up to 60 days, especially in these days, because PMI has announced this on the website that due to the surge of the application, it could take up to 60 days. But there were ideal times. We heard about from our friends that sometime it came back in two weeks. So the people has even received their confirmation in 2 weeks. Once you have your application accepted, you get 1 year of eligibility to prepare for the exam, and you are entitled for 3 exam attempts. But to be noted that second, third attempts comes with the second attempt fees, which is around $600 for members.
Okay, right, right. Well, fees is actually more for this exam,
Yeah.
but I think they reduced it since 3 years, because before it was $2,000 and now they reduced it to 1,000, which is a good encouragement for the aspirants. The key takeaway, I believe that people who are interested in this should start their application process, because it may take 2 months, and that is the time that you also need to prepare for your exam. So immediately start the process. Thank you. This is on eligibility criteria. So what are your thoughts on this, Zahid? High level,
Well,
please.
this is a snippet from the handbook as well. This is a mandatory requirements from for application. This on the right side, you can see the table. It's showing actually the experience requirements. As Brother Mohsin asked for, the PMP prerequisite is not mentioned here, so you don't have to worry for that. But you have 3 options to go for. If you are a secondary diploma high school holder, you don't hold a graduation degree, you have to prove at least 7 years of portfolio experience. And if you are a 4-year degree, you hold 4-year degree program, then it decreases to 4 years of portfolio experience. And if you holding a GAC accredited program bachelor degree, then it is further reduced to 3 years. 3 years of the portfolio management experience. This is one requirement, and there's a second requirement for the 8 years of professional business experience as overall in your last 15 years. This 8 years is cumulative. It includes the portfolio experience as well, part of this. So just to simplify, if you have total 8 years of experience, and from this 8 years, you have a 4 years of portfolio experience, and you have a 4-year bachelor degree, then you qualify for this application.
Got it. Great. And this experience is overlapping, right? If I miss anything in this experience is overlapping. So basically, all you need is 8 years business experience, and within that, you have 3 years of like 8 years portfolio experience, right?
Exactly.
Got it. Okay. Any thoughts on the fees?
There's one condition, and
Zahid?
I believe that does not bother anybody. That your portfolio experience should be in the last 15 years. So I don't think it will really create any major issues for any person.
I think so important is to understand, as we were discussing the domains. So what is the breakup in the exam? How many questions from each domains come, and what is the composition of the exam itself?
Yeah, Brother Mohsin, I would like to answer your question in two parts. First part, that people also ask that should they follow third edition or the fourth edition. So if we look on the ECO, exam content outline, which is up to date on PMI website, this is the domain distribution. And this domain distribution, where 5 domains are shown, are actually aligned to the third edition. So you can confidently go and prepare the third edition as your exam core material. And this percentage distribution that you can see on the screen, 25% of strategic alignment, governance, portfolio performance has 25%. So you can see here that performance is given a high weightage here, while risk assessment and communication assessment has 15% each. On the very last column, you can see there are 35 tasks. These tasks are listed in the exam content outline. One should must go these tasks and map his experience according to these tasks. So you have to see the gap analysis. Which task maybe you are weak, or maybe you have not worked by yourself. So you should make sure that you are feeling confident before going into exam, because exam is really scenario based. It is testing your decision making. It is testing how you can respond. So you have to make your expertise in all these tasks in a very good shape.
So 170 questions in 4
Yeah,
hours.
Mohsin,
Yes. So do you think this is
yeah,
sufficient
Mohsin,
time?
I just want to ask, if you can better answer that, give Zahid a bit rest, and you can answer on that, because you have much experience on this. Mohsin,
So,
is will you,
well,
170 questions, 4 hours? Is this enough?
Okay.
Yes, I think so. This is the new exam I'm looking for.
I think, Adeel, if you allow me to answer this. Yeah.
Yes, it of course
Because,
varies from person to person, his
yeah.
reading abilities and all, because there is a lot of English to read as well, because many questions are lengthy enough. Around 10, 15 questions would be lengthy, other questions would be 4 to 5 lines. So I didn't feel it much. I completed my exam in 3 hours, 15 minutes or so, and then I checked the questions which were just clicked for the double check. So I didn't feel that 4 hours is a very competitive time. It was relaxed and a good time. But Zahid, what was your experience? Did you felt
Well,
it was?
I believe my experience almost same with you. It was 3 hours and few minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes. I completed all the exams. And then I took some time to review some of the questions which I marked for recheck. Some of the questions you are not very, in the first look, you are not very confident that what are could be the right answer from the two competing options. So you should mark it for the later, because going through 170 scenarios, you get additional information even from the exam itself.
So I think so. We are running short of time as well, because we have this big subject. I know in 30 minutes
Yeah,
are too less to understand all these things. But let's move on. I think so from the lessons learned perspective. And before that, we can take a question from Brother Mansoor, also coming the same question, that what is the key difference between edition 3 and edition 4? So with this question, we can move on to this your lessons learned or exam preparation thing.
Sure.
So let's wind up in next 5
this is
minutes.
content. Exam content is very much important.
Yes, sure.
The key difference from standard 3 to 4 is one of the structural change. In the fourth edition, the knowledge areas are split, especially the performance knowledge area. It is split into two more knowledge areas. Supply and capacity and capability management is presented as a standalone independent domain, and value management is an independent domain in the new standard. But there's another important change we notice, that standard 3 is most likely written in the process point of view. You see 16 processes, you see process groups, and you see how they are arranged and integrating to each other. In standard 4, you don't see this kind of interrelationships. You see a good manual, but you don't see the individual processes and these. So what I personally recommend, that for exam you should go with the third edition in detail. You should know the processes, how they are overlapping to each other, how they are interconnecting to each other. And fourth edition is a very good help. It further elaborates your concepts on the portfolio overall framework. Okay. There are some other materials for the exam preparation, and I would like to quickly go through with this. Brother Adeel just mentioned that if you are going for this, you should initiate your application process immediately, because it might take from 2 to 3 months only for the application process, and in parallel you can continue your preparation, which should start from handbook and the exam content outline, in my opinion, because it sets a kind of overall high-level requirement what a portfolio manager should have the competencies that he will be tested for. Then we have two standards, as we just gone through with the third edition and the fourth edition. Both are recommended, but third is more relevant, and the exam up to December is being taken from standard 3, and I think it will continue, because there's no upcoming change coming to ECO or handbook, or there's other materials on the PfMP page. So you can confidently prepare on standard 3 without any doubts. Then PMI itself suggests some reference materials. It is available on the PfMP booklet. One must go through with this, but not necessarily you have to plan it in the very beginning. Go through the standards, and if you get time, go through these reference materials. It will really elaborate more portfolio concepts to you. Doing all this preparation and going to exam, you should be having a independent portfolio manager mindset. This mindset actually helps you that any scenario is given to you and you are deciding with a portfolio manager mindset. Another thing is about the key deliverable artifacts. When you study the third edition or fourth edition first time, you might be working some of the artifacts in your real life, but when you see it in the standard, you get little confused because of its overlapping, some terminologies which are used in multiple artifacts at the same time, multiple processes. So I believe it's only the reason because you are looking the standard first time. If you go through it the second time, or you try to absorb the key deliverables, with a deep understanding, you really get things making sense. And it has to be learned when you are sitting for the exam. You should not have any confusion in the artifacts or the overlapping nature of the processes.
Yes. Thank you, Zahid. I think so. I'd like to add.
Zahid,
I think there's a time lag, so I'm sorry.
There is a delay, so sorry, Mohsin.
Yes.
Yeah, we still have a lesson learned slide, so if we can go to there.
Yes, we can go to lesson learned, but just I wanted to add because few questions are coming up. Let's take them quickly. First of all, the question that version 4 is exam based on version 4 or version 3, you already answered. But the point is that since the ECO is same, so the takeaway here is that it remains the same in any case. Either you are taking version 3 or version 4. The ECO is the basis of the exam, not the standard book itself. So it will remain the same. Other question coming was that what sort of task or scenario comes in the exam. So the scenario usually which I felt in the exam were more from the change management side. Zahid, you can add on it if what you felt because you took it recently.
I agree with this.
Or like that if there is a change, how you would deal with it. So let's Zahid move on to our final thing. I think it's a lesson learned. And if there is,
I want to add on this last comment by you that I agree with this, that even your questions are coming on artifacts update or risk scenarios or performance. Mostly they are in the context of change. Yani the change is happening and how you actually going to adopt the change or implement it. So you will find major of the scenarios under the change scenarios.
Okay. Right.
Well, these are very personal lesson learned or study tips. We'll go through them, and maybe we can have some helping for our colleagues who are preparing for the PfMP. First thing, when you are going through the application, I recommend that we go through with the application reviews, and I appreciate our group studies and group members that they help. This will help you to improve your application before submitting, and you can see it for the completeness nature, because PMI will look your application from completeness point of view. In the PMI handbook, there are some guidelines. It should be abide by those guidelines and should be covering all the aspects of the application requirements. Second is very personal, subjective thing. It depends person to person, but in my experience, if we are going through with the third edition, it takes more than one time to review and study the third edition. Myself, I studied it twice before exam, and we can refer it by time to time. Fourth edition is also recommended to have read on this. It gives you deep understanding even on top of standard 3. Code of ethics should be reviewed well in time. For my case, I left it for the last week, and because in I have not attempted any other PMI certification in last 3-4 years, so reviewing the code of ethics does take time. If you have taken recently some exam, maybe you don't need much time, but if you're doing it after a long time, so I recommend you go through with the code of ethics because it takes some time. Do not leave it for the last week or last moments. Then performing some self-assessment tests will help you to make sure that your knowledge base is concrete, you don't miss any topics, you don't miss any knowledge areas. One full-length exam means 170 questions. You should do it in 4 hours control windows to see how you are performing in one controlled environment. And then most important, plan for early exam attempt for several reasons. We all experienced COVID-19 and there was unknown circumstances that people has to delay. Unfortunately, we noticed that once we have the exam facility available from September or August, there was no extension given to us in the dates. So when I went for the exam date, I got it after 3 months, which is December. And I went to sit the exam. There was some construction work going on in the exam center. They gave me the option that I can postpone my exam, but they also told me that the next seat I cannot get before 3 months, which is March 2021. But because my window with PMI is ending in January, so I had to take these options and these circumstances. I have to accept it. So my recommendation here, suggestion here is that once your application is approved, you should immediately look for the exam date, which you will not get before 3 to 4 months. And for God forbidden, any unforeseen things happens, or you might have to go for second attempt, you still have the window, because second attempt you will get in another 3 months. You will not get it immediately. So going early is the best strategy here for the exam. 3 months, 4 months, whatever suits to you, go for the first attempt, first quarter.
Valid points. Good.
PMI website also have some tips to prepare for exam. It is available in the PfMP portlet, and one should go through with this. It shows some links. It is good for the exam sitting. Individual to individual, it varies, but personally, I recommend rather than going for long hour studies for 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because manuals are short. but we have to spend more time outside the standard as well. There are a lot of good articles that one should go through with them. Many of them you can find in the PMI website. There you have the links there, you have the references. These will really increase your success rate in the exam, because standard only does not explain the scenarios. It gives you the framework. It is good to practice in the work environment, but it does not 100% support how you answer the exam questions. So going with those articles really helps you to understand the scenarios which you might not have in your own unique experience in your organization. People work in different kind of level of organizations, large organizations, medium sized organizations. So going with the articles, you get some more exposure with the industry scenarios. Okay, group discussions are really helpful for us. We are lucky, and I'm thankful to Brother Mohsin, Brother Adeel. We had some other group members, Mansoor, Azuddin in our group, Rizwan brother. So we all share the knowledge, and it really improves you reading some standard context, and when you are talking on that, it really improves your confidence on each knowledge domain areas, that how the things are actually evolving and changing when you are studying in the portfolio level. Okay. Some of the terminologies, some of the methods you will not find in detail in the standards, third standard or fourth standard both, but you should, any techniques you think that you have not practiced much, you should learn it before sitting to the exam, like portfolio level indexes or matrices. So you should have a good understanding on this. During preparation, before sitting to exam, it is good that you have simulation on how the large portfolios are working. Yani portfolio level changes, how these impact, and how the portfolio manager role has comes in to adopt those changes. Just before a couple of minutes, as Brother Mohsin mentioned, that most of the questions you will face on change-based scenarios. Change might be helping on portfolio level itself, maybe on the component level itself, maybe the teams, maybe the risks. So you have to see the all the scenarios that comes on the portfolio levels, and especially in the large organizations. One very important thing, it is mentioned in the ECU, around 70 list of 75 knowledge and skill areas. If you quickly scan through, you will find 80% knowledge areas you are already good enough in those. But you might have few areas, even if it is 5 or 6 areas, that you think that you should improve it, because you might have questions from those areas. There's a leadership point mentioned, so you might have a question from leadership. So it's good to have some high level and horizontal level knowledge on those areas. Okay. Last most important thing, that we have many PfMP articles. If you search in the PMI website, you will find good articles on PfMP, and it explains many concepts and scenarios, situational based scenarios.
Got it. Thank you. I think the last 3 slides are really the crux of this thing that you mentioned. Initially, you start with the why, which is very important to start any endeavor. And later on, you came with the content, the study preparation, and what are your personal study tips. So thank you very much for sharing all this knowledge. I think it's really useful. One thing I want to recommend, that keep your focus intact, and do not study creep. I may say that, do not involve in study creep. Just be focused on the standard 3 for the exam preparation, standard 4 for the mindset creation, and go for the exam. Do some question answers. In this, with your experience, if you have the required experience, I believe that many things you will just cover with just 1 study or 2 studies. But exam is exam, so do not take it as light, and take it serious, and study well within time. As I had mentioned, that plan it in time. So do not bring the gap between your training or certification preparation and the certification exam, because it will lose your focus. And I want to praise Zahid that he really keep his cool throughout that time, and it was around 3 to 4 months because of PMI and COVID scenario. He was able to schedule a date, but finally, as soon as it was opened, he gave it. And Izzaleen, Mansoor was started, Mansoor was the pioneer in this, and then Izzuddin joined him, and now Zahid. Really, we're looking forward. There's one is next one in line. I'm announcing it right now. I hope and I believe on him that he will pass the exam, and the rest of the 4 members I believe we have. So I believe that we can do the certification. So thank you very much. We are here to help you. We are not going to stop here. It's not one-time scenario, one-time talk. We are going to help you. It's like we are planning for another study circle in this part to share on the on YouTube or social media. So looking forward. Mohsin, do you have any last words on this, please?
No, thank you. Thanks for this opportunity, and thanks Zahid for the insight. It's we can reach back to you on the comments as mentioned. And just the last thing is, slow and steady wins the race. So if you are steady, if you are persistent, continue with pursuance. I'm sure PfMP is just ahead of you. Nothing much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you,
Mohsin.
everyone,
Thank you.
and be prepared. One more thing, you need to invest in your career. So try to get away some, if you want, you are really interested in that, try to get away half hour, 1 hour out of your time, and prepare for that, so that you're well prepared that. And I really think that it's above than project. It's above than one single project. It aligns your functional activities, your work with your company strategy, with your company vision and mission. You think in those terms, that why you receive the email